Chaos erupts at Target Center. In a high-stakes showdown with playoff implications, tensions between the Minnesota Timberwolves and Detroit Pistons boil over, and it gets ugly. A second-quarter altercation quickly escalates, leading to a full-blown brawl spilling into the front row, and leaving 7 players and coaches tossed. But what really sparked the chaos? Who got ejected, and how did fans and players react in the heat of the moment? Stick around, we're breaking it all down moment by moment. That escalated quickly, 7 ejected after Pistons-Wolves brawl. Things got real at Target Center on match night and fast. The tension between the Pistons and Timberwolves had been bubbling for a few possessions. Isaiah Stewart had already exchanged words with Dante DiVincenzo and Rudy Gobert, setting the tone. But the real spark, a hard drive to the basket by Naz Reid, who drew contact from rookie Ron Holland. Reid didn't like it, pointed in Holland's face, and that's when DiVincenzo jumped in, clearly avoiding Stewart but ready to stand up to the rookie. Within seconds, the scuffle spilled into the front row. Chaos, complete chaos. After a lengthy review, officials came down hard. Naz Reid, Dante DiVincenzo, and Pablo Prigioni, Wolves, was ejected. Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, Marcus Sasser, and head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, Pistons, were also ejected. 7 people tossed, and to top it off, even the cameraman on the baseline got caught in the melee. Luke Walton stepped in to coach Detroit the rest of the way, but it didn't help. The Timberwolves cruised to a 123-104 win, led by Julius Randle's 26 and Anthony Edwards' 25. Detroit was out Cade Cunningham, and the loss stings even more with playoff seeding at stake. With 9:29 remaining in the second quarter, things began to unravel. Ron Holland and Dante DiVincenzo collided midair after DiVincenzo blocked Holland's layup attempt. Both players crashed to the floor in a hard landing. On the next possession, Isaiah Stewart missed a short jumper, grabbed his rebound, and missed again the rim. Moments later, Simone Fontecchio took a charge from DiVincenzo, adding to the rising tension. As Stewart and Gobert helped teammates to their feet, Stewart gave Gobert a light shove, prompting a technical foul from officials. Emotions were already on edge, and it boiled over. After Holland fouled Naz Reid on the drive to the basket, Reid confronted the rookie, pointing his finger in his face in frustration. Then, when DiVincenzo stepped in and a heated shoving match ensued, players and coaches from both sides flooded the court. Isaiah Stewart and Marcus Sasser were involved early in the scuffle, while coaches J.B. Bickerstaff and Pablo Prigioni exchanged heated words. To make matters worse for Detroit, they were already short-handed, missing both Cade Cunningham and Tobias Harris. Now the league is almost sure to hand down fines and suspensions at a crucial point in the season. With the Pistons clinging to the 6th seed in the East and Minnesota locked in a Western Conference logjam, the fallout from this brawl couldn't come at a worse time. And yeah, it's not over. In the aftermath of the Timberwolves-Piston brawl, the conversation surrounding physicality in the NBA reignited. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins represented 2 contrasting perspectives. Perkins, a former NBA player, drew on the legacy of the Bad Boy Pistons, praising Detroit's style of play as a revival of gritty basketball. He argued that the league could benefit from more physical competition and heightened emotion. However, Smith challenged Perkins' viewpoint, reminding viewers that the NBA had intentionally moved away from physicality that characterized the Bad Boy era. He pointed out that the series of rules changes, particularly during the 1990s when the Detroit Pistons and Chicago Bulls had their intense playoff battle. Smith warned that romanticizing such altercations could backfire, leading to even stricter penalties from the league office. Perkins and Smith had acknowledged the entertainment value of on-court tension, especially as teams pushed through the high-stakes playoff race. While there was an agreement that passion and competitive spirit enhanced the NBA product, that debate ultimately focused on balancing encouraging toughness and ensuring player safety. Both analysts recognized the fine line between promoting a more intense game and risking behavior that could lead to dangerous consequences for players or prompt league-wide repercussions. The segment concluded by touching on the potential drama of upcoming playoff matchups, particularly if teams like Detroit and Indiana, who had recent altercations, meet in the first round. The brawl may have sparked interest, but also highlighted the complexities surrounding how NBA balances physicality and passion. Coming back to the fight, Minnesota head coach Chris Finch didn't hold back when reflecting the on-court chaos, pointing to Detroit's aggressive style as the spark that lit the fuse. 2 guys went at it and then it spilled over into the crowd, which was super dangerous. Finch said post-game, "It just kept escalating, mostly from their side, to be honest with you." Finch felt the warning signs were there early, citing what he called the Pistons' play lopsided level of physicality. "We knew they were a super physical team. They hit you, they hold you, but it got to a point where the players would take matters into their own hands, and you never want that." Conversely, Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff pushed back, blaming Timberwolves assistant coach Pablo Prigioni, and who was also ejected. There were things said by their assistant coach, Bickerstaff claimed, and I'm in the same boat as my guys. We'll defend each other. I'm not going to let anyone talk recklessly about my players. While Bickerstaff acknowledged the official's decision, he added, I didn't think it crossed the line to anything serious, but I understand the referees making the call that they did. Amid the turmoil, a heartwarming gesture emerged. A young courtside fan who had gotten caught in the middle of the chaos was later gifted a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey by part owner and former MLB superstar Alex Rodriguez, a classy moment. The fallout from the Pistons-Timberwolves altercation, which saw 7 ejections, including head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, has reignited a larger conversation about the role of physicality in modern NBA. While the on-court scuffle grabbed headlines, it also stirred a wave of debate in sports media. During a heated post-game discussion, analyst Shannon Sharpe offered a clear stance. The NBA is unlikely to return to the rugged, fight-prone style of the late 70s and early 80s. He reminded viewers that the league's decision to clean up the game decades ago was pivotal in its global expansion and mainstream appeal. Under Commissioner Adam Silver's leadership, Sharpe argued, the NBA will continue to draw a hard line against excessive physicality. The discussion also contrasted basketball's evolving culture with that of other sports. In hockey, for example, physical confrontations are part of the game's DNA. However, the NBA has actively distanced itself from that template. While some commentators praised the intensity and rivalry on display, saying it brought back a level of emotional engagement that's been missing, Sharpe cautioned that glorifying such moments could lead to unwanted consequences. Even with the ongoing dialogue around possibly reintroducing limited elements like hand-checking, the consensus among league insiders is clear. This doesn't mark a return to full-contact basketball. Teams like Oklahoma City and Boston were highlighted as franchises that play with grit and tenacity without crossing the line. By contrast, Detroit's recent display was a potential red flag, testing the league's tolerance in a post-Malice at the Palace era. Historical context added another layer to the debate. The 1994 NBA Finals between the Knicks and Rockets, one of the most physical series in league history, was so among the lowest rated, suggesting that too much toughness can alienate a broader audience. As the NBA reviews the footage and prepares disciplinary action, the message from the top may be less about deterring passion and more about channeling it. The league's challenge is walking the tightrope between intensity and order, between shadows that thrill and those that spill out of control. 5 players and 2 coaches were ejected at the end of the violent match. Detroit lost head J.B. Bickerstaff, center Isaiah Stewart, forward Ron Holland II, and guard Marcus Sasser. Minnesota forward Naz Reid, guard Dante DiVincenzo, and assistant coach Pablo Prigioni, who were also ejected. According to OptaStats, the game had 12 technical fouls, breaking the record for the most in a game in the NBA since March 23, 2005. The clash between the Pistons and Timberwolves was more than just a heated moment. It was a boiling point that spilled over. One thing's certain, that showdown won't be forgotten anytime soon. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on such content.